Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you guys an update to my Fluffal deck profile for November 2016. With my last Fluffal update, I brought you my Frightfur Sanctuary build that focused on getting out Frightfur Chimera. So with this version, I went back to my basic Fluffal build for you guys. Just updated it for the current meta. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I still run 3 Fluffal Dog. Love the card. It's basically Stratos for the deck. All you have to do is special summon or normal summon this from the hand, and you get to search for either a Fluffal or Edge Imp Sabers from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect once per turn. He's also got some pretty good stats. Level 4 with 1700 attack. So always a good card to open up with. He'll set up your plays. And I also run 3 Fluffal Mouse. Some people like to run 2, but I always found 3 the best, just because it's your ultimate go for Fight for a Tiger, because you get the most pops out of it and the most Fluffal bait in the graveyard to use. So if you want to run 2, just suggest swapping it out for maybe Staple, Bottomless Trap Hole or something like that, but we'll get to that later on. And I also run 3 Fluffal Wing. Sorry, it was delayed there. The card was sticking. Basically, with this card, it works with the Toy Vendor plays. Toy Vendor is very essential in the deck for all of your plays for draw power from the grave. If this card is in your graveyard, you control Toy Vendor. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Fluffal monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, draw 1 card. Then you can send 1 Toy Vendor you control to the graveyard, and if you do, draw 1 card. You can only use the effect of Fluffal Wings once per turn. So along with the 2 draws, you also get off Toy Vendor's search effect, which is really good. It'll get you what you need, and hopefully the 2 draws and the search will give you what you need for a fusion summon. And I also run 3 Fluffal Bear. Did have 2 last time. I run 3 now. It's basically search. I no longer run Dark Fusion in the deck. I'm all Polymerization now. So running 3 of this allows me to search out Toy Vendor and Polymerization. I can send this card from my hand to the graveyard to set Toy Vendor directly from the deck. And I contribute this card to target a Polymerization in my graveyard and to my hand. So I can only use 1 Fluffal Bear effect per turn and only once that turn. So depending on what I need, he'll help me get it. Toy Vendor for plays, Polymerization, reuse from the graveyard, easiest way to get it back. And also run 2 Fluffal Owl. This card's great. It searches for Polymerization from the deck, and it also allows for fusion summoning by paying 500 life points without using the need of Polymerization. And I also run 2 Fluffal Sheep. I'm actually considering bumping it down to 1, just because it's that kind of card where, yeah, you'll get your play out, but if you run too many of this, it is a dead draw. So bumping it down to 1 and considering putting in a Foolish Burial, just so you can get cards like Edge Imp Sabers into the graveyard. So I tested it out. I do like it at 2, but sometimes it does come up cloggy, so you might want to bump it down to 1. Just like I said, put in 1 Foolish Burial and you'll be good there. But the effect is, if you control a Fluffal monster except Sheep, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can return 1 other Fluffal monster you control to the hand to special summon 1 Edge Imp monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. I like that it says Edge Imp monster because a lot of the stuff in the Fluffal deck is specific to Edge Imp Sabers, so this allows you to get chain, whatever you need for the situation. And the fact that you can bounce cards back mean you can use cards like Dog over again next turn. And I also run 1 Fluffal Rabbit. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can target 1 Edge Imp Sabers or Fluffal monster in your graveyard except Rabbit, add to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. I like it just for the resources. Most of the time I just search it off of the dog so I don't have to end up drawing it, and then so I don't end up with no cards in hand off of my fusion summons. And I also run 2 Edge Imp Sabers. Run 2 of this card just because it's reusable in the graveyard. Faster you get it in the graveyard, the more you can make use of it. You can place 1 card from your hand on the top of your deck to special summon this card in defense. You can only use this effect once per turn. So easily getting it from the graveyard. Edge Imp Sabers is used for most of your fusion plays, so definitely need to get too fast in the deck. And I also run 3 King of Swamps. Finally got my hands on these with the new reprints in the Legendary decks. You can substitute this card for any 1 Fusion Material monster, but the other Fusion Material must be correct. You can only discard, and you can discard this card to the graveyard to add 1 Polymerization from your deck to your hand. So more search. You need Polymerization to get off your Fusion plays with this deck, which is why I'm running full Polymerization now. No Dark Fusion. Everything just runs together with the deck now. Using Polymerization, I don't have to rely on drawing the Dark Fusion. I can just easily search it out, which is what I mostly do most of the time in the game. And I also run 3 Edgem Chain, probably the best Edgem monster in the deck, just because it has a search effect when it attacks, and when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Fright Fur card from your deck to your hand. So you add Fright Fur Fusion, which is your miracle fusion of the deck. It allows for easy fusion summons using your graveyard. Being able to have 2 good effects off of this card is really nice. And it's also needed to go into Fright Fur Sheep, which is a really good fusion. Now moving on to spells, I run 3 Polymerization. It's, like I said, main focus of the deck is fusion, so you need to get your polymerizations off. And running 3 is just so much more consistent than when I ran 1 Polymerization and 3 Dark Fusions. I get the fusions off so much faster. And 2 Twin Twister, just for back row. Solemn cards really mess up your plays. When they solemn your Tiger, messes you up, that you put all you had into that play, and they negate it, and then you're pretty much stuck. So this helps clear your back row, plus getting maybe Fluffal monsters in the graveyard that you need. And I also run 3 Fright Fur Fusion. Like I said, it's the Miracle Fusion. You special summon 1 Fright Fur from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on the card from your side of the field or graveyard. You can only activate 1 per turn. So using the graveyard is a great help. It's basically like a second hand when you use this card. Build it up with your Fluffals and Fright Furs, and you'll be able to make some awesome plays. Plus, also run 1 Regeki, just for that field play. Clear, if you run this and then go into Wolf, it could be an OTK. And I also run 3 Toy Vendor. Like I said, search it off of Bear. It sets up your special summon plays, which you draw and reveal, which all the Fluffal monsters have effects when they're special summoned from the hand. And other than that, it has the search effect when sent to the graveyard, and you can manipulate that using Wing. So that is probably your best bet to go off of with this card. The draw 2 and the search, like I said, most of the time I get the cards I need for the fusion plays, which is why I run it at 3. And finally, traps, I run 3 Fusion Reserve. This card is Search. It's more graveyard add with Polymerization. I reveal a fusion monster in my extra deck, add 1 of the fusion materials listed on that card from my deck to my hand, then I can add 1 Polymerization from my graveyard to your hand. So the first part is great. The Polymerization is just a bonus, because if I don't have it, I'll still get my Search. All I have to do is, let's say, reveal Bear, and I search Fluffal Bear, or I can add Edgem Sabers, whatever I need for the situation. And I also run, now for the extra deck, 3 Fright Fur Tiger. He is your main one to go into. He has popping effects for how many material you use to make him. And he also has a power-up boost, which is really good because it allows you to basically bump up all of your Fright Fur monsters. And beside from that, you can only control 1 Tiger, so just remember that. So you can't really go pop and pop. You have to only have 1 on the field. But still, running 3 is really good because you can Polymerization. Then if they destroy that one, you have Fright Fur Fusion to make another one and pop more cards. It really wipes out the field really fast. And I also run 2 Fright Fur Wolf. He's basically the same as Tiger, but not in the fact that he destroys things. He just gains attack. So if you can get Fright Fur Tiger out with the fusion summon of Polymerization, then clear their field, then go into Wolf using Fright Fur Fusion. You can attack multiple times with him for the OTK, and that's mainly the OTK you go for with these cards. Plus, I run 1 Fright Fur Bear. Most of the time I run this just for the Fusion Reserve search. I rarely get him off. He just is the only Fright Fur monster with a specific Fluffal needed, so it's an easy search off of Fusion Reserve. And I also run 2 Fright Fur Sabertooth. This card, excuse me, requires a Fright Fur monster, a fusion monster, and 1 or more Fluffal and or Edgem Saber monsters. So when it's fusion summoned, I can target a Fright Fur in my graveyard to special summon it. On all Fright Fur monsters I control, gain 400 attack. And if this card is fusion summoned using 3 or more fusion materials, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So it's basically an invincible card. If you get the 3 out, all they can really do is maybe Castell it back to the deck. But other than that, it's a big beater. If you have this and Tiger on the field, it's a 700 boost. Pretty sure Tiger is 300. Yeah, I just want to be sure because I was double guessing myself. But 700 in total, meaning big numbers, get over big monsters also, and have this card be basically invincible. And I also run 2 Fright Fur Leos. I was thinking of running 1, but with King of the Swamp taking up fusion spots, it's an easy play because you just have him take up the Edgem Saw, and you can easily make him. He's a Ring of Destruction for Fright Furs. He just can't attack directly the turn you do that, but it's still really good. He's got 2400 attack, so you can hit some monsters pretty well. Plus 2 Fright for Sheep. They're really easy to sit on because if they're destroyed, they come back and they gain 800 attack, and your opponent cannot activate effects when this unit attacks. So no Mirror Force or anything like this when this one's attacking. And for Exceeds, I run 1 Castel, 1 Diamond Dyer for pop, and 1 Leviaire the Sea Dragon to get back some banished cards. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.